What up, what up, what up? Good morning, Age of Origins, guys. Head of state events. Uh, it was Frenzy, guys. It wasn't like a void. The towers are back in Frenzy, and we did not get to see the ancient battlefield. I am actually kind of, how do I say it? I'm disappointed. I really wanted to see it. I really wanted to go in it, and I really wanted to either burn or get burned. You know what I mean? I wanted one of those two things to happen. I wanted to experience it. I really did. But we're gonna go. We'll start off on mine just to get that out of the way. Of course, it's down at the very bottom. Okay, so round one, um, which was frenzy for us. We are right here. We got 6.5 billion versus 776 when they got 4. So that was literally 2.5 billion lead on that one. And then we're going to go 797 at the top, 8.5 billion, and then 767 almost doubled that with 14.8. Holy cow. Holy, was there like a lot of no bubbles or something? What the hell? 925 got 10 billion, and then 601 got 12 billion. Of course, we went by what we already did. And then what is that? 875. Why is the number so small? 875 got 14 billion, and 666 got 9 billion. So, guys, people are wondering, people are asking, and Tip, you just asked this question right before I started this live. Ask that question one more time.
So how do they determine the second, and obviously the third round is understandable, but how do they determine the second round? Who faces who of the four?
Okay, so I see it. Well, everyone's got their stuff loaded. Okay, so that was our frenzy right here. So let's go in the second round. Second round, we are faced against 601. All right, so to understand that, I'm assuming we go back into the first round. We were a winner. We got 6.5. Okay, what did 601 get? 601 got 12. Okay, so there can only be 4 winners, right? So that's 12 the top, and then 14. So these got 14. Let's see if 785, 875, I'm sorry, and 767. Let's see if they're matched. They are. They are matched. Okay, I'm understanding this. So the biggest number, the biggest, in the billions for the win, is gonna get matched with.
Not mine, Woody. It'll throw a loop in your.
Really?
Yeah, I posted it.
Okay, now let's check this out. Okay, so let's go back to the first one. All right. 18, 13, 16. Okay, so threes.
So you got 360 and 406 were the two highest.
Yeah, and then what is yours next?
Go to the second one. 306 and 4. See, now you got 406 with us. 5, 6, 7. And we were dead last in points.
And
don't make no sense. And 360 is right below it with 465.
Did you guys win or lose?
We won.
Okay, so I think they're matching by the stars. But the actual score, I mean, that now I'm twisted because like when you looked at mine, it looked complete sense, didn't it?
Correct.
It looked complete sense.
They split the winners. They split the two top with us, whereas they combined you.
Yeah.
I don't understand. But somebody posted in a chat yesterday a response from Camel, and they said it is literally just random, quote unquote.
I mean,
that's what they said. And based on what we're seeing,
I'm thinking random between the winners.
That's what I'm talking about.
Random
because you got
the winners.
top, I've got the opposite.
Yeah. See, in our frenzy, it wasn't the fact that the points weren't there. It was just a lot of bubbles.
Yeah, same for us.
So for us to have gotten scores such as like what you guys got, or like these guys 767, there had to been fighting to happen. that needed to happen.
Tower fights. This is probably what there was. A lot of tower fights.
Yeah, a lot of tower fights, and there was a couple good hits. I believe there was one good tower hit. I put my fleet in there, and I was in the middle of work all night, so um, I logged off. I'm sitting in the tower, logged off, and come back, and there was a
Could be some
defense
heavy
report.
recruiting too.
What's that?
Could be some heavy recruiting too.
Yeah, but not 14 billion.
No. I mean, I'm
Well,
not referring to a difference of 3 or 4 billion. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
hey boys,
yeah.
check out what we did to 722.
Okay. Hold on. That was Archie, right?
Posted in chat.
Oh, I know. There's a lot of posting
No.
in chat.
I'll post it again. Hang on.
Go too deep down there because it might get lost.
It will be the latest.
Oh, right here, right here. I know. I see what you did. All right, so 21 to 8. Oh.
I don't know why those guys play this game. I don't get it.
I'm like,
Yeah, but
well,
you got to understand the Lock Nation. The Lock Nations don't bubble. They literally unbubble to gather resources and open boxes.
well, hey, okay, let's talk about this because I know you do talk to some of them, and you know, I personally don't have an issue with any of the Lock Nation players. I know people do, I don't. But why don't they fight in Void or Frenzy?
To them, it's Frenzy is a waste of resources, and Void you kills a lot of troops. So they prefer the GCs, the DODs, the triangles, where they can utilize everything they've paid for.
So, hold on. You mean to tell me what us, non-lock nations will complain about in our globes and our nations about not being active, not participating, so on and so forth? It's okay over there.
In those type of events, yes.
Ah, man.
Yeah, you'll see everybody who fight in Frenzy. They just unbubble, and you'll double their scores. I mean, if not more sometimes. And I mean, now there are exclusions. Obviously, 693 Ronaldo is a whole nother animal.
Yeah, he fights every time. Every time.
But he's the only one in his nation that fights like that. Everybody else doesn't.
This game is Frenzy, and this game is Void.
Whoa.
It's not.
Hold on. Oh, I did not understand that. Let me ask the Painted Black from 732. Let me ask you a question. Did they even defend? Did they fight? Did they attack? Or was it just like free pickings?
They set traps and they got smashed. Their bubbles dropped, and we would just run into them. And after that, they like got a nice haircut. They would bubble. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was like as if I don't know. For me, it felt like killing farms.
Jeez.
We walked. We didn't even
drop it so they could get points and open their boxes. Hey.
No, they tried. I mean, I don't know. It's either that or they just don't know.
And the traps are to get.
They have no idea what they're doing.
Are for them to get their points and open their boxes, just so you know. Because who traps in Frenzy? Think about that. Nobody traps in Frenzies when it's 3-1.
No, but we would go in bit weaker cities.
I understand.
Right?
But what I'm saying is,
and then their big guys would roll in,
and
guys, then our big guys would roll in.
Guys, one person at a time, please.
Yeah. So as an example, it would be like a couple of C-36s, couple of C-34s walking into a city.
Okay.
And then they would wait for a few of us to get in there, and then a couple of their big guys would speed in, but then a couple of our big guys would speed in, and they would lose. So I don't know the strategy, like what the point was. It was just ridiculous.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think if I was there, if AOM would have fought?
As opposed to having Nutty and
Oh,
Aren't you there?
well, there's a big difference. Like me and AOM, if you were looking in the global chat,
Oh mate, I've lived, but no one likes those guys, and they talked a lot of shit running up to GC anyway. So
I mean, they're not bad people. Really not. It's just like
well, I don't know why they play this game.
that
What's the
one
point of
guy.
playing if you're gonna play, compete in GC, which didn't get anywhere, or in Triangle or whatever? The game is void, and the game is GC, and the game is frenzy. Otherwise, what's the point? I didn't get it. Like, I don't know. It's a complete different mentality, I guess.
I like I like
It wasn't reasonable to
Yeah,
me.
I disagree with that.
I like the troop loss. Like I like the kill events to where when you hit
Yeah,
someone,
because it's more high stakes.
yeah,
It's more high stakes. Yeah, that's right. That's where you measure, and you got to play smart, and you got to play tactical. That's what I mean. Like Void, that's the crown jewel of the game. I don't know who disagreed with that, but I think if you disagree with that statement, you're probably a minority in the game. That's my belief.
so the
Oh,
way
I'm in
Go.
a young nation that's not developed, that doesn't have a whole team to work with, and we don't have a bunch of whales, and we don't have a bunch of people who have high levels of experience in those particular events. So that's
No, but you educate yourself and you get organized. Even if you're a young nation, you will be facing young nations. So the competition is there still.
yeah, we want
You
to
know?
get there, but that's not the whole game for us. Though.
Well, then I guess that will come. That
well,
will
Yeah,
come.
I'll agree with that 100%. But
yeah,
that's not the game for everybody.
I know Papa Pumpmore he's a whale, guys. He's a whale. But like I'm not sure if you guys remember when I said when you first played a game, and I get it. When you first played a game, you're all like, well, let's just have some fun, so on and so forth. And then someone pisses you off, and you start dumping money into a nation, not knowing if what kind of nation it is, and that is an issue, because I think we've said this many times that you want to be in a nation like don't go buck wild till you know what kind of nation it is, because if you go buck wild spending, um, what if you were the only whale there? But come merger time,
Doesn't even.
what's that?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. Looking at my own progress through the game, from being a C23 up to a C30, we were fighting. We were we were organizing ourselves in terms of attacks. Perhaps not, maybe not so much, in Void and Frenzy at that time because we didn't get it. But within the nation, it was kill be killed, and organizing your alliance, how to set up everyone within the alliance, and all that. So I don't know. I guess everyone has different experiences
Let me
on how to play
ask.
the game. But
Let me ask a question. Uh, there was a nation, and I honestly think it was 858. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I'm gonna actually unmute you. As long as you don't as long as you're not yelling at the wife or the wife's not yelling at you. Um, if I recall, 858 before used to be a nation to where it was a lot of farmers before the merger. And if I recall, there was a gentleman from 385, Johnny, that went over there and like said some stuff. There was some stuff. Not sure if it was disrespectful or whatnot, but there was some stuff said about farming and stuff like that. And now they got a merger. 858 is a nation that can do some damage. Like we can't beat them in Elite War, put it that way. And they've beaten many, many, many nations that were just wholly not like going to go their way. So I'm wondering if someone from 858 might be able to tune in, or Johnny Ringo. There he is. You went there and visited it um, before they got a merger. He might be able to if he keys up. I'm Johnny. Was that 858 that you visited that one time?
Yeah, basically the short of it was they were in here one night asking for a bunch of people's advice on stuff, and we went over there and was like, "Hey, if you're having issues with this, do this," and so forth. And then they always had like a rebuttal for the advice. So we're just like, "Okay, you're doomed for failure if you keep doing that," And we just kind of like left. So
Well, I'll tell
it
you
was a
what,
interesting back and forth.
John. I'll tell you what, man. They got a merger, and dude, these guys are freaking tough. They are tough, no joke. Like I don't know what maybe the fire you lit underneath their balls or underneath their ass, did something. But they're tough as all hell right now.
Yeah, I mean that's good for them. I mean, hopefully it did. Yeah, it was me and a couple other people. I forget who else went over there too, but yeah, it was several people that were decent and good players and whatnot. But yeah, they just didn't. They wanted advice, but they only wanted the advice they wanted. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, but I think the point that I was trying to put up across of that is so other people that are listening that are saying, "Well, we don't got this, we don't got that." Give it time. Camo understands what kind of nation you are, guys. They really do. They know if you're a super heavy whale nation. They know if you're over abundant with farmers and only very little couple whales. They know that. So in time, when the algorithm kicks in, um, prime example, 858 is a good merger, and now they are a force to mess with. So if that makes sense to anyone.
Woody, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
do you think? So of course, it's what you were just saying. I always wondered how Camla does their matchmaking because we know that they do mess up from time to time.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes I wonder if this head of stating is going to be similar to like what Elite Warrior is, right? Like you don't just play anybody; you work your way up in the rankings to challenge the better.
Correct.
So maybe they're thinking they need to start doing that with Void and Frenzy, and that's what this head of.
Honestly, dude, that is a really good example of what you just said of what I've been thinking. How it's been going too. A strong nation. So is 406. All these nations that are in here are relatively strong and like war nations. They're relatively strong. Of course, you'll have the stronger ones in there that will trickle in, but they are sitting in. Has noticed that the people that you're going up against are not like either they're not those really really super strong nation that win everything, and you're matched with nothing but fucking war nations like that are you always hear about winning. I mean, I hear that more than such like what happened to us with 385, like 736 against 385 or 736 against 567, like that. Those things just blow my mind. Like how that matched up, I don't know. Maybe we were winning too many times, and Cam will say, "Hold my beer." I don't know, but I think
I mean,
these are
our matchup was our bracket is kind of like nation. They were treating us as like that little brother that doesn't belong, and we ended up smashing 817. And now some of these guys are like, oh, these guys don't mess around. They came active and they did their thing. But if you look at my bracket, it's like it doesn't even make sense why we're in there. Like we are literally outpowered, and majority of the nations in there are all together, and we're split. So it's like, but I don't know. I think we still have a chance just because of that. Where the activity and the discipline.
well, and plus you got to realize that like you guys are also been merged. There's still nations in the 900s and 800s that have not been merged that you've not seen them anymore. So if
Right.
you got your merger, and believe it or not, you actually got a really good merger. If you guys got the stuff together and if you put everything together, you did have a you would rank into around these alliance. Maybe not 796.
Yeah, they're definitely the
Maybe
favorite.
not them. But if you look at the points wise, they only scored 5.7. You guys scored 9.9. Okay, so these points matter. It's not just win and lose. It's the points that matter. Because in the long run, I'll pull it up. The victor goes to who scores more.
Right. I mean, we even gave up fighting for some weird reason. I guess everyone just wanted to call it, and we probably could have put up more. Which now, if I knew that, I would have told them we should have.
Well, yeah, you should just keep going. I mean, it's. Would you even if you're like 5 billion ahead, 6 billion ahead? Would you stop? Hell no. You want every
Well,
troop
I
you
mean,
possibly can.
you're killing troop convoy though. We
Yeah.
all